Good morning, all. Welcome to day 3 of 5-day webinar series on research and innovation. Today, we will be having a session on design thinking by Ms. Apoorva Singh. Apoorva Singh is pursuing Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science and Engineering, VVCE. She is one of the first University Innovation Fellow of VVCE. She has served as the president of Toastmaster Club and currently the area director of Toastmaster. Hearty welcome to Ms. Apoorva Singh. Now we have with us Mr. Umesh, student of VVCE, to speak few things about UIF. A warm welcome to you and over to you, Mr. Umesh.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And as you all know, my name is Umesh, and I am one of the University Innovation Fellows. So UIF, University of Innovation Fellows, what exactly we do there? So as you all know, we are affiliated directly to the Stanford University's Design School, which is Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design. So innovation and research being the theme of this whole webinar series, let's just get started with what exactly is the textbook definition of research firstly. So research is a systematic investigation into any matter, resource, or subject, right? So an innovation is something new, right? Something groundbreaking, something that the world hasn't seen. What we have found out in the days that we are living in is there is no limit to innovation. It's just left to our imagination, right? So, to enable ourselves to think about new things, innovate and experiment and research, all of these require a key factor. And that key factor is non-linear thinking, correct? So, what is non-linear thinking? So, what is linear thinking before that? Linear thinking is a straightforward process or methodology which is used to strategize an output, right? Which is known or which is expected. So these things have been used for years and decades together in order to achieve something or innovate something. But what the last decade has proved is it is not an effective method. So what is more essential than that, than a linear thinking, than thinking in the same way, is the out of the box thinking, which is non-linear way of thinking. So that is where, for all of you, design thinking comes into play, correct? So I will give you an actual real life example of how I implemented design thinking in my day-to-day life in a project. So this helped us even land in MozFest London, which is the biggest collaborative festival held by Mozilla, the foundation, to bring around collaborators from all around the world to showcase their innovative ideas, right? So how did we come up with the one such idea that took us all the way to London, right? What was it that's so inspiring? So it all started off with us brainstorming about security. So it was recently when the lot of hacks were going on, and millions of Netflix accounts and Gmail accounts were hacked and dumped into the deep web. Correct. So we were thinking, why is it so easy? Is it so easy to just run on a click of a button, run a program and hack all the accounts and sell it in the deep web? So that is where we, after this brainstorming session and applying design thinking, that is like a process of steps, which is iterative but non-linear thinking, thinking outside the box. We came up with something called as diceware. So diceware is a pre-existing concept which we have tried to incorporate inside our own product or project. So what it does, it helps you increase the uh, entropy of anything. So entropy here, in simple words, is unpredictability. So when you increase the unpredictability of something, it is hard for any program code to predict what the password might be or brute force attack it in any way. So to make it harder, we use diceware, which increases the entropy and unpredictability, right? So as a result, this actually avoided a lot of attacks which are just happen in a click of button. All this which are automated, right? So this actually ended up giving us the opportunity to present and conduct a session in Mozilla. So upon talking about with people there, I asked like what inspired them, what is the inspiration to each and every uh, innovation or innovative product that they've come up with. Alongside me, there were like so many amazing products. And I want to know like this was a problem that I've seen here. Like I know design thinking and I implemented it to get a better output or a better solution to the problems around me. So what did they do different to get their situation? And surprisingly, on talking to them, I found out that they were indirectly applying design thinking in their day-to-day life, which is looking around them, looking around the world around them, and looking for problems that day to day they face every day. And then empathize with it, research about it, and think of many different ways in which they can come over, they can get over their problems, right? So that is when I found out everybody directly or indirectly are in some way using design thinking tools in their life to make the solution better. Even if not find a solution, but through the iterative process of design thinking, make it way better. So this is where it all started coming together. So I thought, like, what if this would be known to everyone, right? What if everybody knew the simple technique of design thinking that they can apply? It would result in tremendous effort. So the same thing is what we were taught at UIF. And UIF, we have come up with a lot of solutions to a lot of different problems. So one being the research assistance thing, the teacher assistance thing, which are all in process. So in the process of implementation of these projects, design thinking happened to play a huge role. And we were trained specifically in how to think outside the box and bringing the best solutions possible. And I think strongly that all of you should know how design thinking works and able to apply it yourself in your day-to-day life to apply it in your real world problems. In the current pandemic, I think it's more than essential for everyone. With the new era of Make in India, it's more than essential for everyone to look around the problems and give a solution to them, which is useful to the society as a way of giving back. So, with that, is what Apoorva is going to be presenting in the next session. So, I hope you all enjoy the design thinking workshop by Apoorva. And I thank all of you for making this happen. This is an amazing webinar series that I've been watching from day one. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And I hand it over to Apoorva. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I am Apoorva Singh, a University Innovation Fellow from Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering. So, I will be today discussing about design thinking. So, to let you know how I learned it or how I got to know about design thinking, last year in the year of 2018, me with four of my fellow seniors from computer science department, we came across this fellowship provided by D School, Stanford University, that is University Innovation Fellows. And we went through a rigorous 6-week training on just design thinking. And that's when I got to know how important design thinking is and how it can help everyone, be it me, be it a student, be it a working person, or be it anyone in any various fields of life. That's how I learned. After 6 weeks of training, I learned design thinking, and here am I to let you know about it a little, how much ever I have learned about it. So starting off with design thinking, what is design thinking? So what is design thinking? If you go to the technical terms of what is design thinking is a non-linear interactive process that terms up to understanding users, challenges, assumptions, redefine problems, and create innovative solution to prototype and test. So this is really a very technical solution. If I put it in simple words, it's just finding problem solutions to a problem, to a specific set of people. Like if I solve a problem which focuses on children education, so I'm solving a problem focusing on the age group of around 14 years old people. Or if I'm solving a problem of elder people age problems, then I'll be solving a specific problem to that area zone. So design thinking, nothing but finding out solutions to any feasible problem which you can come across, be it your day-to-day life problems which you are facing, or be it some technical paper if you're writing and you have to come down to write a very innovative and a different paper which hasn't been written till now. Or if you want to make a final year project, like me being a final year student, if I have to start with my project, I have to keep a lot of things in mind, and this process design thinking can help me out in this. Various companies have if you just go right now and google out what is design thinking, you will get many certification courses provided by D School or many known universities, and they really charge you high for it because design thinking is a concept which is used by many multinational companies right now to find products which are very effective and people can use it without losing or investing money on the not directly making the product but testing it and prototyping it and finally coming up with a product which will be used by everyone throughout the globe. And it is taught in many management or business schools as a subject. And if you want to go and get a certification at it, it will really cost you a lot. So it's a very deep concept, and I guess it's not taught enough. So I'll just tell you the various steps involved in design thinking. So starting off with the 5 steps. So the 5 major steps which is involved in design thinking is starting off with empathize, then you go to define, then ideate, the 4th step being prototype, and the 5th step is testing. So these are the major 5 steps how design thinking concept is categorized and broken down into to make you understand better. Starting off with the first topic, that is empathize. So now the question comes, what does empathy mean? Empathy means putting yourself in someone's place and feeling their problems or getting to know how they are feeling. Like if I make a product, so making a product is easy, but I have to make sure that I put myself in the shoes of the consumer and analyze it. Okay, is this product useful for me or not? Or else, if we have similar products, why will anyone buy such products? For there's a very minute difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for someone, but empathy is putting yourself into their position and then thinking about it. So as if you are making a product, or if you are writing a paper, or if you are applying this for a company, you have to put yourself into the shoes of the consumer and think about it. Like if making this product will help any zone of customers, or will this product give profit to the company as in whole later on. So that is the major meaning of empathy. And the first step of design thinking is empathize. So how will you empathize? For empathizing with a problem, you can come across with the questions like, who are you making it for? Like if I come up with a product, why should I make this product? Who are the people who will be using it? And once you have that set of mind, you just go to them and get to know their problems. Like if I have to find out a solution to education system, so the first person I should approach is the students and the teachers, because they are the main two pillars of education system in any country or society. So the first people I should go and approach is the students, and that becomes, then I get my answer to this question, who am I making this product for? Moving on to the second questions, after then I should get to know the problems which you are facing, be it the problems from the student sides or the problem from the faculty side. Both of them will be facing some or the other problems. And that is where I should note down all the problems and get to know their stories from both the sides and empathize with them, like putting myself in a student's shoes and thinking about their perspective. Similarly, putting myself in a faculty member's shoes and thinking about their perspective. So then I'll get to know the answer of the second question, that is, what is their problems. Then, what do these people do? Now, of course, there are many temporary solutions to any problem. Now, nobody sits with the solution, so they might have few solutions. How can I overcome it? How can I improve it? That should be my next step. Once you're done with empathizing and you know what product you're making, which age zone or which people of the society you will be helping out by making this product or writing this paper, or may if a multinational company is thinking about having a product doing that, then comes to the next step, that is defining your problem statement. As the word says, define, you define a word means making it explaining the word into a simpler meaning which is understood by everyone. Similarly, once I have empathized with the people, I have to define my problem statement. What am I actually looking for? What is my, what at the end of the day, which problem statement should I be solving? So that is defining your problem. And defining also consists of few questions which you can ask yourself or you can ask the society, and that's how you will get to know, you will finally understand and define your problem statement. So a few questions you can ask when you are defining a problem statement is, what are the user's needs? What are they really looking for? Like, if I ask students, I have empathized with them and I know what they are, what problems they're facing, then I should ask them about what really they are looking for. What are the solutions they are finding from teacher side or the faculty side? What assistance do they need? And according to that, I should start thinking about my design. The second question which I asked is like, in the current situation, what challenges they are facing? Of course, there will be some society, some process running towards, or a process going about. What is the challenges that they are facing in the current process? How can we improvise it? How can we improve it? So that comes in that when you get to the answer of this question, you can move on to the next question. What are the insights we can get? After discussing to 10, 20, and many students, you'll get some insights that which students face which problem, and different students come across with different problem. Similarly, if you go to different set of faculty, there will be different problem faced by different set of faculties. Some faculty will be facing problems with some other um, content delivery, or some faculty will be dealing with product management. The students, some faculty can have their own different set of problems. So after discussing it with different set of people, I'll get the insights and then I can define my problem statement. And once I have defined my problem statement, I can go to the next step, that is ideate. So ideate is a word driven from a simple word idea. Idea means getting a bulb glows and you get a solution to something. Similarly, ideate means finding out solutions to all the problems which you came across. So in the last two process, finding a solution to all the problems you came across. In the last two process, during empathizing and defining your problems, you got a lot of problems, but you don't have any solutions to it till now. So then comes the picture of ideating. Ideating simply means putting out all the solution possible to the problem statement you have. For now, you should put down like, okay, this is my problem statement. If I do this, I can get a solution to that. For instance, carrying forward the example of students, if they are looking forward for many more courses, so what they can go on online courses, and that our college did that. They provided us more Coursera courses, which any student can go and access that, and that will be helpful to the students. And that is one of the solutions we can go and approach. If you're looking something out of the box, uh, then how can we go and approach it? And in this process, ideating, we just find solutions to whatever problem we wrote down last step. Then what are the you develop potential materials. So once you have solutions, then you take the help of the, like if we students have to change something in the education system, we should take the help of none other than our faculty members, our management members who can help us, and those will be the potential materials for our change or for our improvement. So whatever we learn from empathizing and defining, we come and put it on to the ideating and find solutions to the problems. During ideation, you will come across this one word a lot, that is brainstorming. Brainstorming is nothing but exercising your brain, if I had to put it like that. Like when you exercise, your body is tired, you sweat. Similarly, when you brainstorm, your brain is tired. And if it's not tired, means the brainstorming is not done properly. So during brainstorming, what do? Is put down all the possible solutions, whatever is possible under the sun. For instance, if there was a water, if there is a water problem in my locality, I will put down all the feasible solutions to all the non-feasible solutions. I can put down 10 to 10,000 solutions to that problem, not thinking about, okay, it's doable or not, or okay, it's can be done or not. Just putting down all the solutions to that problem, and that is brainstorming. So, as I said, once if you're brainstorming, your brain should be tired thinking more and more about the problem and the solution to it. As said by Einstein, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and then take 5 minutes to solve it. So the more you think about the problem statement, the more easy it is for you to get the solution. So what we did, for an example, how we came out, how our brainstorming session happened was, so we 5 of us used to take these sticky notes or post-its and write all the possible solutions on the wall. And there's no limit to which is a correct solution or is it a wrong solution. All the solutions are solutions. For instance, if we came up with solutions of making a new infrastructure altogether. We know that that's not possible and that's not feasible. But when you are brainstorming, we don't look for feasible solutions or the solutions which can be accessed. We just write down all the possible solutions which can take place. And once you have 100 to 1,000 ideas, in those ideas, you have to pick the best ones, be it 5, be it 10, and that needs processing. Like we being students, we can't take decisions on our own. We need experts' advice or we need suggestions from the people who have really experience. Then comes the discussion phase. Like if we came up with 100 ideas, we would used to go and discuss it with our faculty members and come up with solutions which can be feasible and which are doable. And that out of 10,000 solutions, we might get 5 feasible solutions or the solutions which can go and take place right now. We can act on it right away. So that is the finding solution phase. Once you are done with ideating, you take a vote on the best ideas which you can work on right now, and then your ideating process is done. That is the third step of design thinking. So this is how ideating takes place, and it's said that the way to get a good idea is not the way to get good ideas is not to get lots of ideas and throw the bad one out. So it's not that one fine day you'll just wake up and get an amazing idea. It's more than that, writing down 10,000 or many ideas down and then filtering out the best ones out of it, and that will give a solution to your problem. Moving on to the next step, that is prototyping. Many people would be familiar with the term. Is prototyping means making a small model of whatever product you're planning to design. So prototyping, whatever solutions you came with, now it's the time to make a product out of it and to use it in the market. So while you're developing, take the ideas, whatever you took, and start developing those ideas into some solutions. And it can be simple, it can be small, it shouldn't be as large the scale as possible. For instance, if you want to design a car, it's not that you can directly go and take the big car and start experimenting on it. You can do it on a small scale with a small toy car or something, and once you know it's running and feasible, then you go and make a bigger product out of it. That is prototyping. And it's simple. Sometimes you can test it to the users. So once you're done with your prototyping, you can go and test with the people who, for which this problem statement was required. If I come up with some solution for improving the education system, we come up with, then the best people to experiment it on will be the students and the faculty members. And once you are done prototyping and you have a small product of whatever idea you came up with, then comes the testing part. So I'll tell you how important is testing. So just imagine one fine day, a big multinational company comes up with an idea such as having a laser mouse, for instance, not a mouse which needs a keypad or a surface to rub on. You can just, like a laser pen, you can change slides with that. So that's an idea. Nobody knows it will work or not. So if that company thinks, okay, it is feasible and it is going to work, and make 1 lakh product out of it, and when they go down to market and nobody buys it, then that company will suffer a big loss. So that's how testing is really important. Once you have your prototype, you have to test it on the people and get to know their feedback, if that's really working or not, if it's really of any use to the students or to the faculty members or not, if that solution is really solving any problem or not. And ideating whatever ideas which you put into the prototype which you made, whatever thing you have in your mind, stakeholders, the people who will be using the product. Once the testing is done and you come up with flaws in your product, or you come up with the many things which is not proper with your product, what should you do? And of course, you can't just stop there, right? Then comes the definition of design thinking picture. As I told you, it's not a linear process, it's a non-linear process. So it does not go step by step. You can go back any time and reiterate the path again and come up with more solutions and get back. For instance, while you're ideating, you find that no, the problem statement can be modified. Redefine the problem statement and then ideate your process. Similarly, once you're testing it and you got many feedbacks on your prototype, and you think, okay, this prototype is not any use to the people. The problem statement which I defined, it's not actually a problem to them. So you can go back to the define phase and define a new and a improvised version of problem statement. And that's how you can go back and reiterate the path of prototyping and testing. So as I told you, it's not a linear path. Once you are in a step, you can go back to the previous step or 2 or 3 steps back. Think about it more and come back with a more feasible solution. That's how the graph goes. If you're done with testing, it's not that you are in the final step. You can go back to prototyping, you can go back to ideating if you think the solution is not proper. If you think the whole concept was not right, you can go back to empathize. Now empathize with more people, take a survey or take a interview with people and empathize with enough people that you can modify your product and then go back to prototyping and ideating. So as I told you, it's not, design thinking is not a linear process. You can go back to any step and then redefine the process again. So those are the 5 steps of design thinking. I would like to just recall it once again, starting off with the first step, that is empathize. For a stakeholder, for a product or a service that you are designing, first thing is you have to go and get into the shoes of the consumer, get to know their problem, and then come to the next step, that is define. Defining is putting your problem statement, write it out bold. This is the problem which I will be solving uh, later on phases. Once you have defined your problem statement, go on ideating. Ideating is coming up with brainstorming and coming up with ideas to solve the solution. The ideas may be as small and foolish to as huge and doable, as many possible. You can filter out the best ideas out of it. So once these three are done, fourth step is prototyping. Prototyping is making products, small scale products, which you can go and test on people, get their feedback while they go on to the fifth step, that is testing. Test it on the users, get the feedback from them, and then modify it if required, or go with the product which you have created. So these are the 5 steps of design thinking. Now let's take a simple example and see how design thinking work. So this is a very simple example which I'll be discussing with you all. And with this example, I can show you that design thinking can work anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, so once my brain gets a problem statement, the first thing I can get an idea. So these solution can solve any aged person's problems, or it's a large variety of field. Design thinking can solve any problem, and it's usually taught in management or business schools to make their business more effective. And there are jobs offered to design thinking who have certifications on design thinking too. So step one is I'm taking a very simple problem statement. I want to find solutions to the loneliness of aged people. For instance, once a person gets old, I have observed that they tend to feel lonely, or they tend to feel drift out from the society because they don't have much to do. And if my assumption is right or wrong, for that I need to go and talk to really old generation people and see if they are facing this problem or not. And after interviewing few people, I just get to know that they can't walk or travel much, that's why they are drifting away from the society. Or how, what were the instance, personal stories where with they have personal touch to the stories which were not effective, and that's why they, or how that's why they tend to not travel much or don't go out much because they feel it's not safe. After getting to know their personal stories, the problems which they are facing, or what difficulties they are facing, I would go to the next step, that is define my problem. Once I am defining my problem, I will get to know a lot of stuff, like what the really missing is when they go out. Like if they are really aged and they can walk properly, they need a more defined stick, or more easily used stick which they can travel on. And they once they are once they have a solution to easily moving around and their mobility increase, they can get back in touch with the society. They can go back with their friends and connect with them, or they can go back with grocery shopping and they can just go and meet their friends. So the drifting apart was the problem statement, which for me, I thought traveling was a problem statement. But when I spoke to them, I got to know the main focus their problem they're facing is because they're not traveling, they're drifting apart from the society, and they really are missing out. They are feeling a fear of missing out. And then comes ideating. So how can I like decrease their loneliness, or how can I add value and excitement to their life. So the solution can be as funny as creating a virtual reality friend for them who they can always talk to if they can't walk around more easily, or if they can don't they can't they have to stay in a like in one position. So these virtual friends can help them out to decrease their loneliness or problem, I will get to know a lot of stuff. Like what they're really missing is when they go out, like if they're really aged and they can walk properly, they need a more defined stick or u- more easily used stick which they can travel on. And they once they are once they have a solution to easily moving around and their mobility increase, they can get back in touch with the society. They can go back with their friends and connect with them, or they can go back with grocery shopping and they can just go and meet their friends. So the drifting apart was the problem statement, which for me, I thought traveling was a problem statement. But when I spoke to them, I got to know the main focus their problem they're facing is because they're not traveling, they're drifting apart from the society, and they really are missing out. They are feeling a fear of missing out. And then comes ideating. So how can I like decrease their loneliness, or how can I add value and excitement to their life? So the solution can be as funny as creating a virtual reality friend for them who they can always talk to if they can't walk around more easily, or if they can don't they can't they have to stay in a like in one position. So these virtual friends can help them out to decrease their loneliness, or I can create a surfboard where they don't need to walk. They can just stand there fixed, and that board will make them take them to whatever place it's possible, or a better stick for them to walk on. And once I have ideated and I have like more than 10 to 100 solutions for them to move easily or to decrease their loneliness, I will go and take the feedback from them itself, because I I'm not in the position to see. For me, getting a virtual reality friend will be exciting. For them, it will be a funny thing, and they don't really want it. They want to go and meet real friends. So then I will go and meet them and then talk about it to them. Is this solution more better, or is that? After getting feedback from many people as possible, I will get my best idea which I can work on and create a prototype. So then comes the process of prototyping. Prototyping means designing stuff. I can either take the existing solution and add new ideas to it, or I can create a wholly new idea which I want to come up with. So for this example which I have taken, the usual stick which they carry, they have to lift it and walk. So what I thought, okay, why should they lift it? If they can easily scroll it or move it, if has wheels, then it might be easy for them to walk. So this is the one prototype which I came up with, and it can be helpful for them. It can't be helpful for them. That I'm yet to know. So I would go to the next step, that is testing it on real people. While testing it, I should be ready to get all the feedback. There might be people who might reject it completely and they will feel that it's totally useless. But there might be people who like the idea and they would give you improvisations and things to work on and improvise it. Once you are done with your testing or you're done with your ideating, finally the product is ready and it can be sold out to the markets, and you have a product which is going in the market. So that is a really long process of getting a perfect idea. For instance, I would like to give an example right now. For all the students who are writing papers, there are n number of papers which are already written. And if you one day come up and think about, I should write a paper on this, I should write a paper on one concept of artificial intelligence, just assume, and you start writing out without doing anything. Later, you get to know that there are various papers already written on it. And all of your efforts will go in vain because it won't be published. Plagiarism will come into picture. But if you take this process and start off with the first thing, okay, in AI, what solution I'm creating, I should empathize. Okay, which section of the society will it help? Moving on to the next step. If I have a solution for empathizing, okay, this solution will help this part of the society in this way. Then I'll define my problem statement. Okay, so the main focus after empathizing with other, okay, this is the main problem which this range of society are facing. So how will I, so this is my problem statement. Then I will go about and research about it. I get 10,000 more papers, go through it and check what is missing in these papers or what I can inculcate in my paper and improve my paper. So that is how ideating works. Once you're done ideating, then the prototyping comes into picture and the testing comes into picture. That is the whole process of design thinking. Now the question comes, where can you use it? As I told you, design thinking is taught in one of few of the best colleges and university all around the globe. I would like to highlight the fact that Stanford University has their own school known as the D School, the Design School, where they teach this design thinking in detail to all the baccalaureate students or medical students or people who are finding problems. So they can go up to this place and come up with solutions which can help, solutions to any problem, be it a final year project which they are not getting a solution to, be it a working person who is struggling to find a solution to any website which it came across, or anything and everything. So it can help you in your day-to-day life. Like, I can't manage my time well. So for that, I can use design thinking and help to manage my time in a very effective and the best manner possible. If not that, then I can, and that will help me to utilize my time to the fullest. If I organize my time properly, what I have to do at what time, and which is my priority at what time. Moving on to the next thing which I have given a lot of examples on it, research projects or organizing events. If you're writing a research paper, it's really very important for you to refer 10,000 more people to just it down to one paper which you actually want to write, or just to check that whatever you're writing or creating is not already implemented, or else it won't be any use to any portion of the society and it will not solve any problem. or the projects. Finding a final year project is a really tough task because there have been n number of projects made and created. So design thinking can help you to come up with the best project which you can think of, and how you can how which portion of society it will help, and how you can take it to the next level. And organizing any event, how you can manage it, how you can utilize whatever resources you have, what time, how much time should be given to which event, everything in detail. You can use design thinking and get solutions to it. Next is making decisions. Be it as simple as what you want to eat to as big as what you want to get in life, it can help you in design. It can help you in making decisions. For instance, I am a student and I need to make a decision of going further studies or taking a job or just taking a break from everything. So for that, I have to write down. First, I have to empathize and get to know what my parents want, what my parents really want, or what my teachers will suggest me to do. And after getting that, I should draft down the pros and cons and ideate. Okay, if I do this right now, it would help me this way later. Or if I do this course right now, it will help me in my placements or in my drives. So that's why you'll get a path in making proper decisions. And last thing is anywhere and everywhere. Wherever you think thinking is required, design thinking come into picture. If you have a day-to-day conversation with anyone, or if you have a group discussions with people of 10, and you need to get to know the ideas with each and every one sitting there, so design thinking can really help to ideate and make that discussion an effective discussion, and you can save time there. So I would like to say that design thinking can help you anywhere and everywhere, wherever you can apply it. So with that, I would just like to say that design thinking is a concept which needs to be learnt in depth. And after 6 weeks, or now it's been like 1.5 years, there are various many concepts to design thinking which I am still exploring. So if you feel that this process is helpful to you, do go and research about it and start applying it in your life. It will help you in some or the other way for sure. If you still don't have any doubts that it's how important this concept is, I would just say you to just go and Google out design thinking. You'll get a list of colleges will give you will give you certifications for design thinking. If you scroll down more, you'll get people asking for people providing you jobs for if you have certification in design thinking. So it's a very in-depth concept. And um, going to US, when I was being a university innovation fellow, when I went to US, I got to know it's but it's not come to like a greater picture in India. So you can just start off, and it will be a great start for you to make better decision and uh, take take this process seriously and help you out in various ways. So with that, I am done with my presentation for design thinking. If you have any more questions, you can ask me right now, or you can reach out to me in my email. Thank you so much.